So smart traders, professional investors right now are being very cautious about this rally right now because it has been absolutely vertical. And you know what goes up really, really quickly ends up coming down really quickly. NASDAQ, S&P making all-time new highs, and the Dow Jones is actually starting to lead its way right now, starting to get up to all-time new highs right now. There's so much greed happening in the marketplace, and this is exactly what happens towards the end. And the big boys know this. Smart traders, the big boys, the professional traders, the 1% know what's going on right now, and they are standing aside waiting for the cracks to show, and then we can actually start to get in and start to take advantage of what's coming right now. But on the other side of what I believe is what's coming this year, I believe we're getting ready for a catastrophic collapse coming into probably 2026, and I want to share with you a reason why you should be aware of that. And what's going on from there. And this is something that I'm just seeing so much here. And right now, even from the fear and greed index, the fear and greed index right now is actually at the greed level. And also we've actually got this whole diagram here as well too. I believe for the first time over 12 months, we're going to actually get above this 75. And that's going to start to get into the extreme greed, which we haven't actually been in the extreme greed level for quite some time. And that's what I want to share with you guys right now. So traders, I'm actually running a free training, or I'm actually giving you a free training, walking you through all the steps to my #1 trading system that I use. If you'd like to learn how I actually trade the markets, that first link in the description, go get access to that free training. You can learn all the details here. So one of the things that I'm always seeing right now, and this is what happens, a lot of the amateur traders and the big boys actually know this, right? Typically what happens at the end of big moves is we start to get this a bit of a parabolic sort of move, right? We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, and then we get this sort of big move come from like through there. And then we get something like that. So typically after a period of time going through the upside, we get a parabolic move to the upside. I believe we're in the middle of that, but not right now. I believe there's one little more correction. And what I mean by that is I believe what I just said to you just there, I believe is coming, but not right now. We're getting a little bit too much greed in the marketplace. Smart traders, smart investors know what's going on right now, and we're actually starting to get a bit of a parabolic move. As you can see, everything's just pretty parabolic. We're moving to the upside, and nothing just goes straight up. If you look at the way the markets work, the market goes in swings, right? We swing up, we swing down, we swing up. We actually go through these phases here. So due to the fact we've done this here, this here, this here, and this here, we're getting close towards what's called the 100% move of this move here. And this is, I'm just seeing, and now I'm starting to see a lot of traders start to load up on call options, which are leveraged. And this is going to be catastrophic for even just traders right now, because I'm seeing they're starting to become pretty greedy right now, which is giving me a warning sign. And I believe we're getting towards the end of what's called 100. And what that simply means is, if you have a look at a move, right? If this is the low of the move and this is the high of the move, from that point there to that point there, that's 0, and this is 100 here. And then as you can see, and then we end up getting a couple of week pullback before we end up going again. As you can see, that's what the market does, right? It goes up, it goes down, it goes up. Right? We go through these swinging motions. Look how much we've been going up here. So smart traders understand just the fundamental natures of how these markets work. No, we're getting ready for something. Something's going to hit the market quite soon. That's going to send shivers through the marketplace. It's going to send this market having a bit of a drop to the downside. We're probably going to have a catastrophic sort of big move on the downside pretty quickly. But that's going to be a setup for a really big move to come. Remember I said before about what happens here. Yeah, you saw this happen even with gold. If I bring up this weekly chart here, we actually see this. Look at this back here, right? If we actually go back to this point through here in gold, you notice this happens time and time and time again. And then when we start to see this, we can start to take advantage of it as well too, right? So we have up, pullback, up. See what the market does? The market goes like that, right? What's the stock market doing right now? The stock market's been doing this. So the smart traders right now understand that we are getting, and the more this goes up through here, and the more vertical it gets, the more we're going to see something like that. And look at this here. As we went up, look at this here. That was the biggest move. And then look what happened. Bam, right? Big drop to the downside from here. And that was actually around about a 50% drop to the downside around about there before gold actually ended up starting to move. And now, look what's happening here with gold right now. This is where, like, looking at the actual gold chart and looking at what's happening here on the gold markets, this exact same thing. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Big parabolic move, and now we're doing this here. So we're probably going to start to see, especially in gold, the top here is in, and I see we're likely to start to see a really nice move down in the gold market from here. But on the big picture, when it comes to the gold price, This here for me is a setup for a 10K over the next, say, 3, 4, over the next, from now through to 2030. So this big drop here is a setup for a big slingshot move to around about 10K over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So just a bit of an FYI around that. Now, one thing that we must understand here as well too, and one thing that's important to understand is just where we are in the marketplaces, right? So we're seeing here on the S&P, look at this here, big vertical move to the upside, very big vertical move to the upside, and and this is where smart traders like myself, who have been trading the markets right now, know that the fundamental basis of getting in at good times in the markets is 1, not getting in at the bad times, 2, getting in at good times. Not getting in at bad times simply means if the market goes like this, one of the biggest reasons why most amateur traders, and you may be here right now, lose money in the market is because they see the market going up through here, and I'm seeing it right now, and people then start to buy call options up here. But what do you know to be true about the markets? The market goes up, then the market goes down, then the market goes up, then the market goes down, and this is now called what? An uptrend. Higher lows, and higher lows all the way up. Make sense? So we are getting that. So the market, and so I'm starting to see the some traders now entering the call options here, especially on the NASDAQ, and I'm starting to see now that greed come into place, but it's the absolute worst time to get involved with it. Why? Yeah, you may capture what's called the 20% move, right? If this is the low of the move here, and that's the high of the move before we end up seeing the correction, this is 0, this is 100. We're probably right now around about 90. So while I see we could actually possibly get a little bit more upside to come out of the S&P, just to really bring it in, right? And then we start to see this whole fear and greed index really start to ping to the upside. It's not worth it, right? It's not worth it to try and capitalize on the on the move here. And if we continue up through here, which we're probably going to over the next couple of days, then that we're probably likely to experience a really hard and fast drop through here, which then is going to be a bit of a slingshot move back to the upside. So on an overall basis, this is what I see here, right? And this is where, like, there's so many traders who are not smart right now, who are not being understanding about what I just said here, are going to get completely destroyed in this market. This volatility right now is going to completely run you over. So we can see through here. So I'm expecting to see maybe a little bit more upside, and then we're going to see a very big pullback through here. And then we're probably going to see a very big move to the upside here. But 2026, right? That's supposed to say 2026. 2026 is going to be a year of a very big 20, maybe even 30% drop to the downside. And it's going to be catastrophic. The next drop is going to be catastrophic to so many people out there. And that's where, like I see right now, even with the gold market, I know so many people lose money because they're trading call options on gold for the last few months and it hasn't been doing anything. And they're getting absolutely destroyed right now. This is the worst thing to do when it comes down to this level here. And the best thing I do say is that just be smart about what you're doing through here, right? Understand, and what I do as a trader myself. What I do as a trader myself is I'm always looking for really high probability trades to set up on, right? So instead of focusing on trying to jump on something that's already made a big move, which you know, and again, it's the number one thing I see that so many traders do, they wait for the market to go up. Then people jumping in call options right now. What has the market been doing, right, to the upside? And then guess what? We know what's going to come, right? Nowhere on this chart do you see it just do that and do that. And you know what's coming, right? So if you're in call options right now, or you bought call options the last few days, bear in mind when it does start to drop. And the thing is, when it drops, one day can start to wipe out a whole week. And then we start to get a very big drop in the markets from there. And the best thing I do say, guys, is that just be patient and step back and look for these really big moves that are likely to come. And one of the best things I do say is I love trading, and it's my number one sort of trading thing that I like to look for is when the market's going sideways. Look at this here. Whenever the market goes sideways for many years, we end up getting a very big breakout. Very, very, very big. And then guess what happens? When we get a breakout for a year and a half, that's when the big boys right now are distributing. And the amateurs are like, oh, gold's been doing really well the last 2 years. Let's actually jump on right now. And the one thing that Ray Dalio said is the biggest thing that the most investors and traders do, and the mistake that they have, is they say what has done well is probably likely to continue doing really well. But we know that's not to be the case, right? That's the reason why most investors and traders get this wrong, because they want to get into something that's doing really well. But what's the problem with that? When it's been doing really well, you know you're going to get what? A pullback. which up, and then a pullback. A pullback is just simply just, the market has to pull back to start an upward move, right? Even gold did this. Even look at this level through here, right? We had up, we had down, high, low, high, low. See what I'm saying? Like, and now we're actually getting to this parabolic phase where the market's starting. The big boys right now on gold are starting to distribute through here. We're starting to get this sideways phase through here, as you can see. And now we're getting you're getting my moving average start to flatten out, which means that this overall moving average is starting to flatten out, which is starting to go down. I'm actually expecting this thing to actually go down. And one of the things that I've seen so many times is people would be looking at gold right now as an ascending triangle pattern. They'll be saying gold's doing this here right now. Oh my goodness, an ascending triangle pattern, and they're looking at this level here. Oh, gold's going to break out to the upside again. Well, one thing that I've found is that this here depends on where it's actually coming from. If it's coming off the back of already a very big move for the last year or so, then no, this is actually end of trend, and we end up getting, this is actually not a bullish setup. This is actually a bearish setup. Comes down, we might get a little rally, and then we start to see a very big move to the downside. I'm expecting a 2,800 to 2,600 level, somewhere around about there. I'm actually expecting from the good old gold price. But the thing for me, guys, is one thing I really want you to understand is, and get involved with, is look for these opportunities that hasn't made a big move, right? Like, so for example, for me, I'm looking at, for example, on a short-term level basis, I'm looking at silver, right? Look at silver. Silver to me silver hasn't been doing much. So instead of trying to chase something that's already made a big move, which there's going to be a drop soon, because that's what markets do, right? The market has to drop to form there. And this is just going to be, it's going to be catastrophic, right? Then we go sideways through here, right? We're actually holding through here. Look at this here, nothing for a while. Then we start to get a breakout. I'm telling you right now, the number one pattern you can utilize is when the market does nothing for a while. Look at this here. The reason why gold had a big move is when we have nothing for a few years, then we have a very big move, right? If you look at platinum was another example. Why did platinum have such a big move, right? Platinum was one of my recent trades. Why did platinum have such a big move here? Look at this. And it's so, look at this here. For the last couple of years, did nothing. Then look at this here, an absolute rocket ship. I had an amazing trade there on platinum through there, right? GRPN. It's all the same thing, right, guys? All the same thing. Why did Groupon have such a big move so far? Right? Let's actually go down to, I'll show you the daily charts here so you can see. Look at this here. So why did Groupon actually have such a big move? Look at this. Especially for the last couple of years. Look at that, through there, and then bam, big move. So look for these patterns here. Why? Because you're getting in early before the big move. The biggest mistakes that I'm seeing right now is that, especially right now, smart traders know what's happening in the stock market, so they're stepping aside. And for me, little things like I'm watching the USO market. Now, this is the USO market right now, and if I go down to, let's go to this one right here. Yeah, I'll go to this one right. Look at this here. This is the USO on the monthly charts. Look at all this here. Remember I said before about these are the patterns that I look for. Why? Because when they break, they end up going for a big move for a couple of months, 2, 3, 4, 5 months, and then you have a big profit off these things, not just a small little profit there. Right, so USO is the one that's been developing the same pattern there, and same for the XLE market as well too. The XLE market for me is definitely one that I'm really focusing on right now as well too. Look at this here. Look at this. What's been happening now for the last couple of years? Look at this here. This is a monthly chart. That's all a monthly chart. When this breaks out, mark my words, we had a very big move to the upside. Now we're going through a bit of a quiet phase. When it breaks, it's going to be fireworks, and it could be an amazing trading opportunity. So don't chase the market. Know the foundations of what markets do. When they go up for a lot and they're going up for a lot, don't try and capture that last little bit here, because you know what's coming. And one of the biggest mistakes that most amateur makes is they get in up here. Then we get the drop, the thing, oh, the market's dropping. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's dropping. I got in at the wrong time. You got it at the wrong time, because then if you look at the market like here, right, what you want to do is you want to wait for this hit. You want to wait for these bits all through here, right? You want to wait for the drop, and then as it starts to pick up, try to enter there. Wait for the drop, because then you're getting in early. Most traders get in here, here, and here, and they wonder why they're not getting into a good time. So wait for the drop first, because the drop is the pullback that forms the trend, and then wait for the start of that next leg. You're going to have a much more high probability of jumping in on a move than you would just waiting for and trying to capitalize like a lot of traders are doing right now in the stock market. Hey traders, just a quick heads up. I'm actually giving away free access to my Mastery Trading course for a limited time. If you go to johnspeakgift.com, or there should be the first link in the description. The fact is that 80 to 90% of the stuff that you learn or you use on these trading platforms is a complete waste of time. And only about 5 to 10% of the stuff that you actually learn and use is going to move the needle in the positive direction for you. And that's over the last 20 years, I've put everything that has helped me move the needle in the positive direction in this here, and I've left everything else out. So go to johnspeakgift.com right now and grab complete free access to this Mastery Trading course.